Hi everyone, it's Bill from Crooked Acres. Welcome back to the Homestead. So it's finally stopped raining here in Western New York for about 15 minutes. This week's been a wash. It's rained almost every single day, nonstop. The ground's saturated. And as I start saying that, it's starting to rain right now. They're calling for heavy rain right through the night into tomorrow afternoon. So we haven't been able to accomplish a whole lot this week. What I did today is I did swing by on my way home from work at the feed store. I picked up some more turkey and chicken feed for our critters. And what I want to talk to you about today is what I just said, how to homestead with a full-time job. Can you do it? Yeah, you can. You got to do a little bit more planning, but it can be accomplished. So I'm going to go ahead and get this feed unloaded before it really starts pouring. We're gonna get the turkeys fed and watered. We'll bring you along, and then I'll tell you what I think about working and homesteading. So I store my feed out in my pole barn. I have two containers that I store it in. The unopened bags I store in this big 55-gallon plastic barrel we got there with the removable top. Those are my sealed bags. I just put the top over top it there. And in the aluminum can, I have my open bags, which I'll place that one in there in a second. And then I carry the food out to the turkeys and that in my bucket there. But I haven't had any rodent problems in the garage here. I do have the barn cats that I'm assuming would take care of any problems should I have one. But that's where I store my stuff. I only buy a half dozen bags or so at a time. The feed mill for me is only about 3 miles away, so I don't have far to go to get it, and I don't have to store a whole lot. So I'm gonna take the food out to the turkeys. Like I showed you, I do feed them every single day. I don't free feed them. I don't like the fact that just let them eat as much as they want. To me, they're gonna get too big doing that. And this way I can kind of control their intake. Right now I feed them about 10 pounds of food a day. They've got 2 weeks till butcher date, and that seems to be working. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this food in there. There always seems to be one turkey that's got to get right in the food bowl, like he owns the place. I'm not quite sure. So I feed them in that bowl there, and I also have a trough that I use over here so they can spread out a little bit. And I put food in there, but they still seem to bicker between each other. Like I said, one seems like it's got to hog the whole thing. I have noticed in the past week they are getting a little snippy with each other, a little bit of pecking going on. But I think that's just due to, you know, their age and their size and that. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get these guys some water now and go from there. So I'm in the chicken coop now, just making sure these guys are all set. They do have plenty of food right there, at least till tomorrow. I don't want to fill it too much because it is going to rain. They've got water. I see that they've left me an egg over there. We'll grab that one, and then we'll go around to the egg boxes in the coop. I'm sure there's a few more. Been getting about 3 to 4 a day. The Americanas are laying, the Easter eggers. The Polish hens, for whatever reason, it's that time of the year, have completely shut off. So they're not laying at all at the moment. But that's fine. We're still getting, like I said, 3 to 4. I think even a couple times we've gotten 5 eggs in a day. So that's plenty for us. We're more than happy with that. So I'm gonna go and grab these eggs, and I'll show you what we got. I know I featured our barn cats in our last video, but these guys follow me around. They're crazy. So this one is on top of the chicken and turkey coop. I don't think they mean harm to the chickens because they've actually went in the coop with me before and didn't bother them. But he's getting a little adventurous now. I always wonder what's going through their minds. So it started raining pretty hard now, so I grabbed the eggs and got out of there quick, but ended up with 3 eggs for the day, which is about par, like I said, 3 to 4 a day. So we're gonna go ahead and throw them in the fridge. So it started raining pretty hard, so I brought it inside, warm up by the pellet stove here a bit. But what I wanted to talk about is, you know, I have a lot of people that ask me 2 things. They ask me, how do I find time to do these homesteading hobby farm things with having a full-time job? And I also run a service business part-time. And the second question I get asked is, why do I do these things? Let's cover the second one first. So why do I do this? Why do I raise layer chickens and feed them and clean coops and all that stuff for some eggs when I can go to the grocery store and buy a dozen eggs for a few bucks? Why do I raise meat chickens and go through all the hassle of taking care of them when I can go to the store and buy chicken for $1 or $1.50 a pound when it's on sale? The reason is, there's a couple reasons. First reason is I like knowing where my food came from. I don't like depending on the supermarket if I don't have to. There's a certain type of satisfaction in sitting down to have a meal, whether it be chicken or eggs for breakfast or some turkeys that you raised, vegetables that you grew in your garden, or maybe fruits that came off some of your fruit trees. When you sit down to consume those things and you know that you created that meal, you were solely responsible for providing that. You didn't go to a grocery store to get it. It was through your hard work and efforts that got that meal on the table. The second reason I do this is I like to know where my food came from. When we sit down for a chicken dinner or what have you, vegetables, I know where that animal lived. I know what it ate. I knew what its life was like. And I like having that knowledge. You know, you read a lot of things in the news, you see a lot of things, you know, I don't know how all these animals are raised or what they're done in big commercial places, but you know, I know how they're taken care of here. And again, I like that feeling. In the garden, I know I didn't use fertilizers. I know I didn't use a lot of pesticides and that sort of stuff. My stuff's pretty natural. And I like that. When you buy it in a supermarket, you really don't have any idea what was done to it. So it's a nice piece of knowledge to have. Knowing what you're eating is a good thing. So that would be the whys I do this. But the bigger question I get asked is how do I find time for this? So people always, I've heard some people say, I'd love to do that, but I don't have time. You do have time. You just gotta plan a little better if you're gonna do this with a full-time job. So for me personally, I leave my home at 4 a.m. every day to go to work. I usually get home between 2:30 and 5 in the afternoon, depending on the day. And that's when I take care of my chores. My chickens and my turkeys get fed as soon as I get home. They get watered as soon as I get home. And, I make sure that they have enough to last through till, the same time the next day. Gardening, you can do that at any time. You can put some things in after work, you can maintain it after work. You don't need much time to do those things, especially once the garden gets going. If you've got a 9 to 5, maybe you get up a few hours early in the morning, take care of your stuff then. You've got to find what works for you and make it work if that's what you want to do. It helps if you have a significant other that likes this sort of lifestyle or this sort of living too. For example, when we raise our meat chickens in the late spring, early summer, Mrs. Crooked Acres, Tracy, she feeds and waters the meat chickens before work in the morning. I know she's out there at 5:30 in the morning getting that done because I leave so early. And then I take care of that, the second feeding and moving the chicken tractors in the afternoon. But planning's a big part of being able to do this and work a job. Another example is we get our meat birds typically in the early part of May, and they go to butcher usually the first week in July. The reason we do that is we don't like taking care of that stuff during the two hottest months of the year, July and August. We prefer to be not having to worry about our meat chickens. So we've planned it out to do it that way. We make sure our meat chickens are gone before we bring turkeys onto the homestead. Turkey chicks come usually the middle of July for our Thanksgiving butcher date, so I don't have any overlap. We try not to take on more than we know we can handle along with the full-time job. So the first year we raised chickens, the second year we did the chickens and we added the turkeys. Next year we'll be adding pigs, and we've got a plan for taking care of them also. So if you want to do this with a full-time job, it's more than doable. I would say jump in with both feet, but plan your time accordingly. Big projects, we built the shed, we built the garden initially, some of the bigger things. You got to do those on your days off. Or, if you pretty vacation time from work or personal time or what have you. Me, I work a 12-hour day, I come home, I do chores, and that's, pretty much all I'm gonna get done that day. So we don't get a lot of the big projects done on work days, but we do those on the off days is how we handle those. If you've got vacation time, personal time from work, take it when you try to get your garden in the spring. You got a bigger project you want to get done, use it then. Again, you have to plan, but those that say, oh, I work this shift or I work that shift, I don't think the shift matters. You just got to make it work for you, and it's really not that difficult. So don't be letting a full-time job hold you back. Just jump in. You don't have to go full scale. Plan a raised bed, raise a half dozen chickens. Anything you do, any meal that you're providing for yourself, you're quote unquote homesteading. I don't care if it's on a 1/4 acre or 100 acres. Do what you think you can handle and add on to it as you feel that you can do it. So but those are the two biggest things I get asked, and like I said, the number one thing is planning. Just plan. So the last thing I'll add before I end this video is, if you do want to do this stuff, you want to do this homesteading type stuff, raise animals, have a nice garden, along with your full-time job, it is work. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's not work. If you're looking for 8-hour days and then come home and hit the couch, it's not going to happen. Most of our days, like I said, start at 4 a.m. for me. Tracy's usually up by 5:30, and we're definitely outside getting things done till dark or sometimes later. And then we may come in and we're usually hitting the hay pretty early. So most days are 15-16 hours or whatever it takes to get it done for that day. So you can't be allergic to work, but if you're willing to put the time in, if you're willing to put the effort in, jump in. Don't let a job hold you back. Just start doing it and do what you can. But anyways, those are the the whys and the how we're able to do it, with the full-time job. I hope you enjoyed the videos. If you did, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.